Hey guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and if you watch this video and like it, please give me a like, and if you don't like it, hit the unlike button twice just to really get your opinion across. So, today I want to talk about Kitty Hawk. I recently found out through one of my subscribers that informed me that the company no longer produces model kits, and I'm quite upset about it, to be honest. Not as bothered as I was when I heard the Winglet Wings had gone, but basically, yes, it's bad news, I think, for us modelers, because you know they had some issues which I'll talk about, in my opinion, if my opinion matters, and maybe they'll listen, and if they get a management buyout or something, maybe they can make a few changes. But I have heard that people have been cheering and saying couldn't come soon enough and all that. Well, I don't think that's really called for. Having said that, if Hong Kong Models went under tomorrow, I wouldn't even mention it. So, everybody's got their favourite and least favourite manufacturers, I guess. But basically, and that's not to say I wouldn't be upset about people at Hong Kong Models losing their jobs and stuff. That's always a bad thing. But it's just that I just don't like what they produce. So anyway, enough about them. So yeah, Kitty Hawk, as you know, my latest project, which I have yet to do the weathering on, is this one. This is the twin set. You get both trucks in a box, and it's about £40 odd, 48 scale. Lovely kit. Got some silly, stupid mistakes in it, which is just typical Kitty Hawk stuff. But overall, to look at as a finished model, they look lovely. And that's not me blowing my trumpet saying I've done a lovely job. They are lovely looking kits out of the box. And then, as you also know, we've got this one on the go. Believe it, this box still weighs a ton. I mean, most of the airframe is here behind me, but this box is still crammed full. You can hear I'm shaking it and nothing's moving about. And yeah, this is the OV10A Bronco, which I need to get done because I know a lot of you guys absolutely love this, and I know a lot of people have struggled to build this, and indeed some have ended up in the bin. Again, Kitty Hawk thing. The build sequence in the manual is rubbish, so that's a one to worth following. If you haven't seen me building that, I haven't finished it, but I have done a few parts, and it's enough to get you going to change the build process and make the thing a lot easier to build. I've heard people say these kits are unbuildable. I don't think anything's unbuildable. Saying that Mach 2 VC10, that got me. Not only because the kit is absolute crap, but because the moulding is absolutely awful. And I swear, I mean, it's gone now, but I swear the plastic was moving. Because, as you know, I was doing stuff, I was making adjustments, and then when I got it out again, like one of the tail planes just sunk, and it went sort of concave on the surface, rather than being convex. How did that happen? It wasn't near any heat or anything. It was on the shelf up here with all these B-52s. So, horrible thing. That went in the bin, and I was glad to see it go. The third kit I've got to show you today is this one. This is the SU-30 or Su-35 Flanker E. Bought this recently on eBay before any of the announcements. I saw it on there dirt cheap, stuck a bid in and won it. So, I know it's not as good as the Great Wall Hobby kit, but I think there are a couple of features in it which are nicer than the Great Wall Hobby kit, from what I can gather when I saw Matt do his builds on Duke's Models, where he did a build of both the Great Wall Hobby and the Kitty Hawk kit. And yes, he gave Kitty Hawk a hard time, as I always give Kitty Hawk a hard time, but purely because of the school errors they make. So first things first, and as I say, this is just a video about my opinion, why people didn't like Kitty Hawk, why they got slagged off so much, and what they need to change if they're going to come back into business. Even if they're going to re-release all the same molds, there's a lot of changes they could make now, and going forward they'd be fine. So first of all, the instructions. We all know that, particularly for newer modelers, the instructions, they have some very strange quirks with them. It's like they'll have a really complicated assembly, and it'll be, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, done. And it's like, and then you've got incorrectly numbered parts, you've got parts drawn the wrong way around. I've heard they've even got parts moulded the wrong way around, but I haven't seen that myself. But You know, so that's something else they need to do. They need to break down their complicated assemblies, because that's another thing they do, over engineer things, and they make things out of many, many parts when they could be made of 2 or 3. They're made of sort of 5 or 6, and it's Bronco is another company that does that, and the instructions need to be better around that. Their sequences are a joke. For instance, that Bronco, the build sequence of that, putting those wings together, everything is an absolute joke. Watch my videos and I'll show you how I've done it a different way. This, where they have the colour, you know, the colour call outs for the camouflage and everything in the middle of the manual, and then you open, I'll see if I can show you, you open the manual up and it's half of one and half of another, and it's just bloody ridiculous. If we look at this one here, I bet it hasn't got it. No, this one doesn't have it. And I know that the guy that I bought the flankery off actually took the colour call outs out of the instructions, so I can't show you. But if you have a new Kitty Hawk kit, have a look, and like you open the manual up, and in the centre of the manual you've got the colour call outs stapled in there, and it's very, very dangerous, because if you've got something like an all grey American fighter aircraft, say like the F5 or something, they'll have the tail section here, then the spine of the book, and then this will be the nose section, and it's actually 2 different aircraft. And if you're not really concentrating on what you're doing, because what you're supposed to do is pull them out. So this is like, if you imagine 2 A3 sheets laid on top of each other and then folded over, when you open it up, you've got the back half is of this sheet and the front half is of the sheet on the back above, the back of the sheet above it. Yeah, so that's what you're really careful of. So take those out, and then you can see what you're looking at. So basically that's it. Yeah, their build sequences, the stupid way they put the colour call outs in the middle, and you know, some of their complicated structures are oversimplified. Engineering, again, as I just said about too many parts. Some of their earlier kits were, if you're a fan of Phil Flory, you'll see his Buccaneer build, or no, it's Buccaneer, Jaguar build, and it just fought him all the way. And it's the same with their Su-22. It's got the fuselage is made up of 50 parts or whatever, you know. It could just be 2 fuselage halves. Why does it need to be in so many sections, you know? But then you could say the same about the Model Collect B-52s. They're done in many, many sections. Detail, I love Kitty Hawk's detail. Their surface detail is always beautiful. If you watch the Bronco videos, I always say in there about, you know, the fit is amazing, the detail is amazing, the surface detail in that, it's awesome. I couldn't knock it for anything with detail or fit or anything like that. That Bronco is amazing. As far as I've got with it, it's beautiful. So yeah, you know, big thumbs up for detail. These little 1/48 trucks I'm building, or have built, they go together quite well. But there's some quirky little things which I'm going to come back to. Which leads me to the question, you know, does anyone ever build a test shot of these things? Because if you look at that Kitty Hawk truck build I did, you'll see in there that there's axles where there's holes where there should be pins. You know, so you've got, if I can't remember now, or was there pins when it's, I think there was pins on the axles and pins on the springs, and there should have been holes in the axles, or vice versa. And there's bits just completely missing, and there's, you know, there's holes and pins missing that you can't put it together. You have to drill holes and stuff. So you kind of wonder, did anyone at Kitty Hawk ever do a build? Because the moulds don't change. The moulds don't suddenly go from pins to holes overnight. You may get a pin break off a mould, so you end up with a flat surface rather than a hole, because remember, you're moulding in reverse. But, you know, very, very strange. And I've heard there's other aircraft kits where they've got no stub axles on the landing gear and stuff. And you kind of think, did anyone ever actually build a Kitty Hawk kit at the Kitty Hawk factory? I think another failure is not listening to modelers. Myself, Phil Flory, I think pretty much everybody that builds model kits online or in magazines always talks about the build sequence, always talks about their manuals, the oversimplification of complicated parts in the manual, and yet the actual model plastic parts are overcomplicated. So you've got the worst end of 2 scales, really. And they never changed. They just carried on doing exactly the same thing. Another thing is their packaging. You know, the packaging of this Bronco is pretty good. You've got the clear parts in a separate box. But then you look at this Su-35, it's all just chucked in there. And if the box rattles around, the clear parts get scratched. And their bags are a bit rubbishy, but hey, who's going to worry about bags? But I think their packaging could have been a bit better. If you look at the likes of Avant-Garde and Tamiya, even Trumpeter to some extent. Value for money, don't know, it's a hard one for me, because if you look at the Su-35 compared to the Great Wall Hobby, you know, if you're going second hand, you can save sort of half the money. If you're buying it new, they're fairly equal, so you'd go for the Great Wall Hobby. So there, you know, with the Su-35, is there any value for money there? No. That Bronco, this one, the OV10, no one else does a 32nd scale Bronco, and that is a beautiful model. So the price, I think it was about £70, wasn't it? I think the price of that model, when you compare it to some of the later Tamiya stuff, and indeed a lot of the stuff these days, I think it's a bargain for the kit it is. It's beautiful. And then you've got stuff like those Kitty Hawk trucks, those two Russian trucks. You know, you're talking, if you want them otherwise, you're looking at resin, and £40 for those two models is not a lot of money. Range, I love their range. They pick up some very, very interesting subjects, some different subjects. I haven't built their F5E, I probably never will. I used to have the Hasegawa / Revell one and sold it on because of all the raised panel lines and everything. But basically, I probably never will build one. I've heard some bad things about it, but I've heard some wonderful things about it too. We shall see. But I really do hope they come back. I hope somebody buys the moulds and does the instructions. I mean, for instance, if you're going to have a management buyout, Kitty Hawk, and you listen to this video, if you want me to do your manual for you for this, I will, because you ain't got a clue, honestly. And this is the difference with these companies. If you look at like Wingnut Wings made models for modelers, and they were designed by modelers, and they built like 20 or 30 test shots before they ever released one. Kitty Hawk are the absolute total opposite. I don't think they ever built a test shot. They're not modelers. You can tell they're not modelers by the way the kits are put together and their instructions and everything. So yes, sad to see them go. I hope this isn't going to be because you know, in the last, well, few months, isn't it? Last year we've lost Wingnut Wings, we've lost Kitty Hawk. I've heard rumours about Airfix, but I've heard rumours about Airfix for the last 10 years. You know, it'd be so sad to see these companies go. So yeah, if anyone from Kitty was watching this, you know, please come back. Some of us love your kits. I've just actually, because I don't want to get caught up in the £500 a model thing, I've just bought a couple from eModels. eModels have got some stock left if you want to go and have a look on there. They've got some stock left of those beautiful 35th scale choppers they do. So I've bought a couple of those, and I'll probably do a review when they turn up. So yeah, if you didn't know and you wanted some Kitty Hawk models, go and order them. If you're buying on eBay and you're getting them from China, make sure you look down at the bottom, the delivery date. So I was looking this morning, there's a Pave Hawk on there which was quite reasonably priced, and the delivery was something like the 12th of October. What? You know, so, you know, just be careful of the delivery dates. So anyway, that's it from me. Nothing much more to say. I just wanted to get my tuppence worth in and let you all know what's going on in case you weren't aware. I certainly wasn't aware. Now I look on eBay, on YouTube, I see there's lots of videos and everyone's talking about it. So yeah, sad to see them go, but hey, maybe they'll come back. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.